Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. Today we have GgMaChine and Shameless, wow. Which is a team that we have yet to see on the channel. They have joined every edition of the 2v2 circuit so far though, and they have proven to be dangerous opponents. And we see a drone going across the map. Is the Zerg the one scouting? Did he lose the rock, paper, scissors? Or is he gonna do a very cool, like, proxy hatch? That would be very crazy, honestly. But you never know. And they're going up against SKillous and Elazer. Which, of course, is a team that we know by now. They started competing in February. Oh my god, he's going to get the hatchery at the other side of the map? We see a ping going down? They don't see it yet, but they suspect it, because the drone didn't enter the base. And yes, indeed, there is a hatchery on SKillous's part of the map, so they are blocking SKillous out of an expansion. This is a wild start to the match. Maybe the Zerg should take the third to make this impossible, but then Speedling rushes become very strong. If there was an early pull behind this, which they don't even know if there is... Oh, I guess they do because of the hatchery. But if there was an early pull with this and speed, then this would be a fine setup, but having the forward expansion as a Zerg would be a problem. For now, though, Shameless getting away with a shamelessly early expansion, where SKillous is stuck going for like a 2-gate into an expansion, and curious to see if this hatchery is going to finish up, spread some wonderful creep, or if he's just going to cancel it for that money back, maybe make an evo. He cancels it, gets 200 minerals back, wonderful, and oh, he spots a robotics facility that is proxied across the map. This is huge. And I think with this type of an advantage, you should really be able to crush as the Zerg Protoss, which is kind of like the green-red team, the non-blue team once again. The Shameless Machine is going to put in work. This Overlord is going to go down a little rough. How are the work accounts looking? Machine actually doesn't have that high of a work account. Already building a spine, wow. I mean, what's wrong with just sending over 10 links right now? Hello? I guess if the Zerg opponent was also sending links, it would become a problem, but... Oh, this elevation is the same as this elevation. So once the building's finished, they could actually see each other. The Overlord should have migrated to this higher ground. Wow. Okay. Learn something every day, and now the blue team ready to go on the offensive. We do have defensive Zerglings ready, but speed barely not finished. This spine putting in work, putting in the hours. We already have one immortal from Shameless here. Oh, didn't get a nice force field on the ramp, but now they are in, but the Lynx doing work. The one spine goes down. A second one gets built. You hate to see that. This one's probably gonna get clicked down by this immortal in like 2 shots. But 3 shield batteries at the front as well. This drone making sure there is no expansion. And wow, GgMaChine actually taking the golden base. I like that a lot. But there's a War Prism here, making this proxy robo very, very strong. Nice pickup there by SKillous, and there is some Banelings here to defend against the Zerglings. More Zerglings coming in from Elazer, and he's just a Zergling machine. And he's actually losing... Oh no, he actually wins here versus the Zerglings of Machine. So Machine actually not contributing a lot anymore. Has to make more Zerglings here. Now the Protoss player here in Shameless also has his own War Prism, but I mean, SKillous has very good micro. Nice force fields though, cutting off a part of the army, but nice War Prism micro gets all of the units out, and I don't think any of the Protoss units there died. Shameless has lost 1 Adept and 2 Adepts and 1 Stalker for SKillous, so pretty comparable. Oh, the third base has been found, and Elazer is getting a lot of Zergling out. He actually has hit the gold base. And, oh, double immortal drop. But the double immortal drop from Shameless comes in to defend. Lots of Zerglings pounce on the opportunity to punish here. And SKillous sends in his adepts. The probes get punished a little bit, but not a lot of them die. And, wow. So Elazer, by not going into Banelings and then also getting the opportunity to get the gold base, is now so much further ahead of his Zerg counterpart, whereas the Protosses seem to be in pretty... Well, Shameless is even ahead of SKillous, which makes sense as SKillous has one less base. Oh my god, that Warp Prism almost gets clicked down. The Sentry with their bonus damage to shields really coming in clutch there. And I think GgMaChine and Shameless want to push out here, at least kill these buildings that are near their base, just to make sure that SKillous can't get any more value from them. And we see a Spire here from Elazer. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. Shameless on Robotech, and this Zerg in the Stone Age. Getting an Evo Chamber 2-base hatch tech. Well, it's 1-base hatch tech. Look at the drone differential. 22 to 54. Ay. Shameless does get a little scout in. Finds the Temple Archives. Doesn't see the Spire. Didn't quite shift-click it over. So both the Lair and the Spire are an unknown quantity as of now. The Queen's coming in. Queen's getting clicked down by the Immortals. Oh, SKillous. He is kind of like squeezing water out of a rock here. Using all of the units that he does have to his utmost advantage. And his probe count is looking pretty okay now. 34 to 40. His Protoss counterpart. Nice surround here by Elazer. Killing the last couple Zerglings that Machine had left over on the other side of the map. Now, these buildings did get cleared up, which is very nice. But Elazer is on 3 bases, getting the 4th one, and 10 Mutmuts are underway. He stops +1 for the air and starts getting a Hydralisk Den instead. So doesn't want to commit into mass Hydra or a Mutalisk here, which could be pretty strong, honestly. They still haven't yet to identify this, so these Mutas are going to wreak complete havoc. GgMaChine gets in once again, kills a couple probes here, but I don't know if it's worth it. Ooh, SKillous has only lost 3 probes as of now, so he can only have killed 1, maybe 2 probes there. GgMaChine trying to get... Where are the Mutas? Oh, there they are. Trying to get an extra base up here, but how are you ever going to drone up ever again? He's managing to do so a little bit. Oh, and here are the Mutas. They get into the natural. Shameless pulls the probes further towards the shield batteries, but as long as you target fire with the Mutas, you're going to get a lot of damage done. This looks to be game-ending damage here. Machine was already down into the dumps, but these Mutas are just going to make it worse. The Spores don't get the opportunity to finish. The Banelings crash into the army, not crashing into the opposing Banelings. And now, Shameless does have very nice force fields here, keeping a lot of the Lings and Banes out of play, but there are Archons, and the G is called by Machine, as he was literally losing everything that he had. He had 27 drones, which is more than I was expecting, and no units. And of course, the Archons were about to bust through. All of these are Immortals were going to get surrounded and killed. That was a very cute strategy, honestly, going for the proxy hatch. But even though they saw the proxy, they got owned by the proxy. I kind of feel like that is not supposed to happen, but it did. And Elazer, using the map control that they got themselves, like SKillous kind of like threw himself in front of the bus. He was like, okay, I'm getting denied my expansion. I'll just pivot into a proxy robo. I'll just ask you to make some Zerglings to help me pressure. And behind it, you can take the gold base, tech up, and we're going to win this game. And they definitely did that. Nice adaptation by SKillous and Elazer. I feel like Shameless was the rock for his team, but Machine just kind of killed his own economy a little bit too much trying to defend this pressure. Like, he even got to cancel the hatch. So he kind of got his money back, but he just didn't make that many drones. Tried to defend with Ling Bane and a Spine, and ended up losing a bunch there. So just, I think he needed to be a little bit more greedy. Looking at his teammate, 3 shield batteries, force fields, everything. Maybe you kind of have to choose, like a Spine plus units plus no drones. That's, I mean, hindsight 2020, of course, but maybe just greed it out, put down a Roach War and let your teammate defend, just have like 10 slow links to try and like keep the opposing links from running in, which I guess is the big problem here. If Elazer is just not teching up but going all in on the Zerglings, then the lone Protoss player can't really deal with that without force fields. Like, they needed to have a wall here and then force field this ramp for that to work. So the Zerg needed to do something. But then I just want to see 3 Spine Crawlers, 3 Queens, like in front, and then drones. So that you can put the Queens on the ramp and just kind of try to force the Zerglings to go around, and then they could put like a pylon and a force field. Something like that. But maybe they can come back in game number 2 with these creative strategies, such as the proxy hatch, to deny the opposing Protoss player their only expansion. That is really cool. Have not seen that before in 2v2. And I hope that they will keep showing us these neat little tricks that are just unexplored or relatively unknown in the 2v2 StarCraft space. And for game number 2, we load up into Yellowjacket with SKillous and Elazer going up 1-0 against the Shameless Machine. And Yellowjacket all about this base, which can be encroached or approached from 2 sides. And if you have this area as the opposing players, you can then kind of siege the 3rd, 4th over here, and also go into the natural. So it's always a very important base to keep in mind, or at least area. I don't really have to take the base, although it makes sense to take the base if you're going to stage like a defensive force in this area anyways. Because giving your opponents this area just really makes this map difficult. We've seen MaxPax and Spirit really pull apart a lot of players on this map, because there is a lot of avenues on attack. If you look at the minimap, you can go down here via the Zolnaga Tower. You can go through the low ground, but also through the high ground if you really want to. This high ground becomes very important staging area, because you can go down here, you can go into the base, or you can go to the middle of the map and then go here, maybe get some siege tanks over there. So where this is important to defend, this is a very important staging area to either go in there or go to the behind bases. And drops, of course, pretty big airspace here at the main. You can get behind these bases decently well, especially here, and then also behind these bases, Liberators, etc. We've seen Banshees do work. And Machine, not putting a hatchery across the map this time around, but just putting it at his own natural base. Let's see what the Shameless Machine comes up with here in game number 2. This game number 1 looked pretty promising, but they just kind of got outplayed by Elazer and SKillous in the end there. SKillous now purposefully going for the double gate. So kind of not even giving GgMaChine the opportunity to go Nexus first. Or Gate Nexus. Which is pretty interesting. Patrolling Overlord. Interesting. And Machine going for a quick 3rd base. He is getting speed and keeps mining gas here. That is quite interesting. Is he gonna go up to about 75, throw down an Evo chamber, and then go for +1 lings, 3 hatchery, lings. Or is he actually going to use this gas for something else? Could be a Baneling Nest and then just a Ling Bane attack. Do you see a Baneling Nest here from Elazer? And Elazer stops making drones for a little bit, making some lings, sending them across, trying to support SKillous here in their assault. First 2 Stalkers are going across, 2 more, and 2 more gateways for SKillous as well. That's just a juicy 4 gate right there. And we've seen Cyril do this as well when he's playing Protoss in the 2v2, where he likes to go double gate Stalker into 2 more Stalkers and then kind of go from there. Try to be offensive together with Zhuge. So pretty similar to what Elazer and SKillous are doing here, but Elazer is adding on some Baneling aggression, and this could go wrong really fast as the Roach Warren for Shameless or Machine is just going down. Machine does get the Speedlings on top of the Stalkers, kills the one, kills the second one, and now we do have some Banelings. Gotta put those Lings or Queens to work to kill these Banelings. And that is the nice thing in 2v2. You do have some ranged units from your ally that can help you out, but this is a lot of Banelings committed here from Elazer. Oh, but all the Banelings do get killed, but there's a lot of Stalkers here. This outer pylon giving SKillous a position to warp in 4 Stalkers at a time. Oh, Machine does not quite get the surround. And the Stalker force for Shameless has been thinned out quite a bit. He only has 1 gateway so far, 2 now becoming warp gates. And SKillous's warp gate attack is just so fast. He was going for a very, very traditional warp gate attack, or 4 gate. And he now has 10 Stalkers to 4. Do have 2 shield batteries here, but this is enough Stalkers to one-shot an opposing Stalker. These Roaches, they get surrounded by the Zerglings of Elazer. And with Stalkers to boot, Roaches suddenly don't seem too good anymore. Shield batteries don't do anything for the Roaches. The Queens are already dead. And no more Queens coming up. It's just Zerglings from Machine and Roaches, of course, because those are more larva efficient at this point. I guess it's a good idea to make a Roach Warren when all your Queens are dead. But I feel like everything is dead. There's just so many Stalkers, and the probes and the drones come up the line. But surprise, surprise, when that is not a good thing when you don't have a lot of attacking units left. Elazer just sends in more Lings. Could even make more Banelings at the back, but he sees that his opponent is not making a lot of Zerglings anymore. And they make it a quick, swift 2-0 victory. And like I said, this can go wrong really fast, and it did. 1 full warp-in extra of SKillous just suddenly turned the math on its head. It looked to be okay. We had the 2 Queens, we had a couple Banelings morphing, we had these shield batteries, we had like 3 Stalkers. Looked to be okay, because they had like 4 to 6 Stalkers and like the Lings, but mostly Banelings, and Machine had a lot of Lings, so should be okay. But then the Banelings kind of need a lot of shots, and the Queens could get targeted down, and the Lings went across the map, didn't really find the damage, and then 4 Stalkers. And then a couple more seconds, 4 more Stalkers, and suddenly, ooh, that's a lot of Stalkers, and Shameless was working off of 1 gateway, maybe 2, but I think it was 1 gateway. And wow, before the Dark Templar Shrine even finishes, they already had to GG out. I do admire that. If you hold this attack, this DT Shrine is going to destroy everything that they love. Like, you could make an argument for if they had a pylon, like here or whatever, like near the opponent's base, you should stick it out on top of your ramp and just warp in like 4 DTs here and just kill everything. Maybe you can win that base race type. But wow, Shameless getting the full bear hug from SKillous here at the end. And this kind of got blown out of the water here in game number 2 as well. The Shameless Machine needs to go back to the drawing board and see what they can fix, because I feel like they can really put up a fight against SKillous and Elazer if they work out the kinks in their strategy. But for now, SKillous and Elazer looking really good. The Liquid Boys take it 2-0. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out, watching the StarCraft 2. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe. Cheers.